Beware of people who constantly deflect because you cannot trust them because they will never hold themselves accountable. This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. Today, I'm going to talk to you about why you can't trust people who constantly deflect because they don't hold themselves accountable and they become toxic. They become manipulative. They try to twist your words around, or they're never transparent. They never honor what they say. They never do what they say they're going to do, and they never are who they say they are. Now, this can lead to backstabbing. This could lead to unfinished work, especially in a professional relationship, where if you're working on a project and they're unreliable, non-dependable, and you're committed to project, a contract, so to speak, and these coworkers don't finish or don't do the job they say they can do, and you hear nothing but excuses. And also in personal relationships, if people in your circle of friends, so to speak, they're not forthright, honest with you. When you're in trouble, where are they? They say you can count your friends in one hand. You'll find out who your friends are when you move, because their friends help you to move. And those who are not your friends, they don't ever ask if you need any help. They don't offer any assistance. So this falls into two categories, personal and professional. And we can fall into the category of what we think a friendship should be. We idealize friendship, and what we idealize professional relationships to be. Now, this could also apply to romantic, relationships such as marriage or boyfriend and girlfriend, because it's all in relationship. Ultimately, we need to depend upon one another to a certain degree. That doesn't mean become needy, but if you're working on a project together at work and it requires a team effort and the team lets you down, it's very difficult to create workability with them. And then if your butt is on the line because you're the team leader, or you gave your word to the team leader that you and so would work on it together, and that becomes unreliable, it becomes a workability issue. And then your job and your livelihood is on the line. That's why this is really important to talk about, because it's about trust. If you can't trust your partner, you can't trust in any dynamic, work partners, romantic partners, family partners, friendship partners, it makes life very difficult. I think we all know this. I think we learned this in high school about what friendship is and backstabbing and things of that nature. I'll share with you a story where I learned this the hard way. I had a friend, I just graduated college, and my friend invited me out to California. I graduated from Naropa Institute with a degree in contemplative psychology. He invited me out to California to start a band, and so I moved out there on the premise that we would move to Santa Cruz and start a band. He was living in Pleasant Hill, and I wound up moving in with him. And I get it. It takes a little while to save some money. Turns out he wasn't saving a dime. He wasn't doing anything that he said he would do. I had spent a lot of money moving out here. I told him, I need your word. This is an agreement. We're going to start a band, right? I'm moving out there. We're going to move by such and such date. He gave me his word, and he didn't keep it. Long story short, I wound up moving out of there, moved into a place called Mount Madonna Center, which is a yoga ashram with Baba Haridas, and it turned out to be a great experience otherwise. But that premise made me realize that this is a person that I've known for a long part of my life. We went to grade school together. If I can't trust someone like that, who can I trust? Made me very distrustful of people. Now, it didn't take me a long time because I realized I just need to get to know people better and lower my expectations as far as friendships go. But when it came fast forward to working in a professional environment, such as my first I would say, career-oriented job, first salary job. I worked for Biomed Orthopedics for Steve R. Davis Associates, and had a kind of a strange experience working there because this is 2002. I moved back to New Jersey from California and needed to find a job. So my friend Rob was working with this company called Bauman Orthopedics, offered me a position there because he knew that they were hiring. So got me the interview, and I wound up getting the job. Long story short, from 2002 to 2007, I find myself working 12-hour days while the other two drivers are working 4 hours and 6-hour days. And the premise was, well, I'm the new guy. But I get it. Maybe the first year I pick up the slack. But for the next 6 years, I was doing that. It made me very frustrated. And then along the time, I realized I can't be angry with them. They're not going to change. They are who they are. I just have to worry about myself and what I can bring to the table. And that's what I did. I focused on how good of a job I can do, how much contribution I can give, and honoring my agreement with the boss, Steve R. Davis. And what happened was I wound up getting a raise before the other two drivers who were senior drivers. Rick was working there for decades before me. Rob got me the job, but I wound up getting the raise because I stopped relying upon them for my position there, and I relied upon my own integrity. But what I later found out was that a coworker there tried to have all of us fired, and he acted like he was all of our friends, this gentleman by the name of Shane. He acted like he was a buddy to me, to everybody, a real good talker, real good personality, even had a warm heart. Kind of gave the vibe that I could trust him. This was 2006. Somewhere along that time period, another sales rep by the name of Chuck pulls me in. He goes, "Hey, Spencer, can I talk to you for a second?" I thought, oh boy, what did I do? What's going on? Am I getting fired or something? You know how that tone, when we have a talk, you always feel like you get in trouble. And then what happened was he pulled me in and he said, "Spencer, did you know Shane tried to have you fired?" I said, "No, I had no idea." He goes, "Well, not just you, but he tried to have all the drivers fired." And I look at him, I'm thinking, wow, that's a surprise. Chuck says to me, "Yeah, that's pretty messed up." I go, "Yeah, it is." He goes, "Well, good thing, Spencer, especially you over the other drivers, all the sales rep stood up for you. Anthony, everybody, Joe, Brian, they all said you saved their accounts. They would have lost multi-million dollar accounts. We were selling orthopedic prosthetic implants, huge industry. I'm not trying to brag. What I am saying is when Chuck was saying that to me, I had no idea that I had this impact with the company. And I realized that's what really matters to me. But he continues, he said, they all stood up for you. They didn't stand up for Rick and Rob. But what the boss said, Steve, was we're not firing any of them. Number one, they know the routes. Number two, they just said Spencer saved all these accounts. Number three, you're the new guy here. Who are you to have people fired just so you can have your friends work? So this is my first introduction to professional letdown, if you will. Because at a professional level, my livelihood is on the line. I'm paying rent. I've got bills to pay. I'm putting myself through school part-time to get enough credits to go to graduate school. Already have an undergraduate degree. I didn't want to prolong the time into getting into graduate school. So this was a real wake-up call to me. I realized that no matter how good of a talker, no matter how great of a personality, no matter how good of a vibe somebody has, if somebody does not keep their word and they are not transparent with you, they become toxic. Because the potential for them to stab you in the back, to double-cross you, increases. And you just never know. There is a degree of uncertainty. And what I found was that the only thing I can rely upon was myself, my own word, my own integrity, my own intention. And it was my intention to contribute. And what I found is that not everybody is going to live up to my standards of what I think integrity is. So over the years, what I've learned to do is get agreement. If I want something, specifically reliability, can I trust you to fulfill this task? Can I trust you to tell me the truth when I ask you to? Can I trust you? And I get this agreement. I literally say, can I trust you to? So then we are in agreement. And what I can do is honor that. I can give that to you. If I ever have a problem with you, I will let you know. If you have a problem with me, let me know. Can we keep that agreement? And once you have that formal agreement, people tend to hold themselves accountable. Because you can go and ask them, hey, you gave me your word. Or we did a gentleman's handshake. Or we had an agreement. Did we not? So explain yourself. What happened? And it's not a matter of reprimanding, judging, making wrong. It's a matter of, hey, we all have breakdowns. How can we transform this breakdown into a breakthrough? Because maybe something happened that is legit. Maybe they got into a car accident. Maybe there's a shift in their personal life which made the other person not be able to hold their end of the bargain, keep their word, so to speak. It's the people that, let's just say, have the reputation, have the habits, where you notice on a consistent basis, they don't keep their word. They give you the runaround all the time. Now, if you're a manager, you'll probably hear this from employees a lot. Or if you're a married person, you may hear this from your spouse. It's a very toxic relationship when you can't trust the people that you're relating to, especially in a marriage where a marriage is sacred. Friendship is sacred as well. It's almost feeling like that whatever you put into it is just being spit on. It feels disrespectful and it hurts. There is an upset. How do you fix that upset? Well, you can't with a person who never keeps their word, who is never forthright or transparent. The real solution is to kick them out of your life. You don't want to be confrontational because they're just going to deny it and defend their manipulation tactics to the end. You kick them out of your life. But before that, you determine whether or not, based upon their consistent character and habits, do they have a reputation? If not, everybody breaks down every now and then. I'm not perfect. We all, at some point, don't honor our end of the agreement. It's when that person consistently does that. That kind of person, you don't make any agreements to. You almost trust that they will let you down. You can trust that they're not reliable. You can trust that they're manipulative. You can trust that they're deceitful. You can trust a rattlesnake to bite you and kill you. The poison, the venom. When you meet a toxic person, trust them to be toxic. In other words, why are you getting into a contractual agreement with them in the first place? Don't even go there. That is the key to dealing with these people. That's why people get fired at work for doing a poor job. The company doesn't put up with them. They just fire them. Now, with friendship, hey, if you've got years behind a certain kind of friendship and they're just continually letting you down, well, that becomes toxic because you feel like you're wasting your energy. You feel like whatever love, whatever feeling, whatever thought, whatever energy you put into it just gets sucked away in this vacuum of letdown. You just cut them out of your life. You may have a conversation. Hey, listen, you've continually talked behind my back. You've actually stabbed me in the back more than once. I don't think I want you in my life anymore. I'm cutting it off. And state that. Because then there's an actual formal ending to that friendship. You have to formally end it. Otherwise, you'll leave things hanging. And there's this unfulfilled expectation that never gets resolved. You need conclusion. And when you cut a person out of your life, you invite them for a cup of coffee and you say, hey, you've continually let me down. Just like when you get fired, or just like if you're a manager, you invite your employee in, you give them a letter. That's usually the professional way. There is a formal meeting of people where there is an explanation. You haven't been performing up to standards. You've been continually late. You just can't be relied upon anymore. Or you said you can do this type of job and you're just not performing well. And you haven't learned and improved on your work performance. It's the same thing. You haven't been a real friend to me. I haven't been able to trust you. You talk behind my back. You said you would be there for me because I've been there for you, and you haven't been there for me. Have that conversation, and you officially create closure. Because that is what you're actually looking for with people who are continually letting you down, is closure. Have that closure, and you'll have that peace. This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I sure hope this helps. Thank you so much for listening.